Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube channel. It's another episode of Debbie's Wisdom. It's a cold morning in Dubai and I'm here with my cup of, I'm not going to tell you what is in it. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, thank you so much. Hit the subscribe button before you leave so you do not miss out on anything I have to say next. If you're coming back for the second time or coming back for the 100th time, I just want to say that I love you and you're an OG. Yeah, don't forget that. Yes guys, as a 20-something years old, I have been putting a lot of things into perspective, like really, and I figured I came up with a list of things that I've been ignoring as a 20-something years old. And why this was going on, I figured that I can't be the only one who has actually been ignoring these things, and that's why I came to sit in front of the camera this morning to share a few things I think we as 20-somethings and a lot of adults are actually ignoring. The first one is your trauma, our trauma. Let's take trauma to be our experiences, our upbringing, our history, our family background. Whether we like it or not, as people, we are a sum total of every experience. Everything up until this point has shaped us to be who we are. Take for example somebody who grew up with lack, and then you're a 20-something years old or you're an adult right now who is earning more than your parents or people before you actually earned. Many times you are most likely going to find yourself still operating in that scarcity mindset if you don't grow out of it, if you don't break out of it. And there's no way to grow out of something if you don't actually come to terms with it. I heard somebody say that you cannot grow something you don't measure. So I recently started to read a book. The title of the book is It Didn't Start With You. I have the book open in front of me. It says how inherited family trauma shapes who you are and how you can end the circle. This is a material you can pick up. The link to the book is going to be in the description. You can actually just check out the book, read that kind of material. There's this other book I found very interesting that would help you outgrow your trauma, help you understand why you act the way you do. It's called Good Life, Good Vibes. Good Vibe, Good Life. I don't want to mix it up, but it's all going to be linked in the description below. So be sure to pick up these materials and understand that you are who you are and experiences have shaped you to be who you are, and it only makes sense to actually come in terms with who you are, because that's the only way to outgrow that circle and then be who you are meant to be. Another thing I think we are ignoring as 20-something years old or young adults is family. Before I get into this, I just want to put it out there. I have a reminder on my phone that says your mom is not going to live forever, so you need to call her right now. See, I know that many times a lot of us have stories where we feel like our parents have not done us well, so they have not treated us so well, but the truth is they are still your parents, and somewhere in your heart you really love them, somewhere in your heart. And whether we like it or not, if we don't treat them well right now, we might actually look back in years and regret not actually loving and honoring them as they should. So it's about time to really process the trauma, process whatever hurt you think your parents caused you. Remember that they are human beings too, and they did all that they could do, or all they can do. That's what they're doing right now. So come in terms with it and love your parents in the way that they should be loved. Talking about family, so let's do this exercise together. I know that we are full of life and we don't ever see ourselves we're young people full of life, very vibrant. We don't see ourselves slumbering anytime soon. But take for example, you stand up from watching this video and you drop the device you're using in watching the video and you walked out of the room where you were seated in, and an accident happens and it becomes a medical emergency. Think of 3 people who we have to leave everything they are doing to show up for you and be with you. Like their life will literally pause for your sake. I'm sure 1 or 2 of them are actually family. So I've been thinking lately, you don't ever want to be in a situation where your family is obliged to take care of you because they are family. You want to be in a situation where your family will always show up for you because they truly love you and because you've built a friendship with them. So it's time to actually call your siblings. If you're an adult, it's time to rediscover your sibling. It's time to stop treating you're 25. It's time to stop treating your 23 years old brother and sister like your baby brother. It's time to really rediscover them, get to know who they are. love them, show them that you care, show them that you see them, because family is really all that we've got. The third thing I think we're ignoring is relationships. Look, many of us are breaking generational curses. A few of us are just adulting. Whatever or wherever you are on the spectrum, adulting is hard. But it's even harder when you don't have anybody to lean on. So ignoring relationships and friendships will actually be a disservice to us on the long run. Let's talk about this. Relationships first. So relationships in form of romantic relationships, work relationships, and hey guys, like people you just know, your acquaintances. Let's talk about romantic relationships because it is the elephant in the room of relationships. Now, why is this important? Because romantic relationships evolves to become family relationships, because I mean your boyfriend, your girlfriend can potentially become a partner who you're going to be traveling down life with, and who's going to be the mom or the dad of your kids, and your friend forever. So if you are looking to actually enjoy family relationship, build a loving family, this is the right time to start investing in that. This is the time to actually set up that dating profile on that dating app. This is the time to actually get your friends to introduce you to somebody. This is the time to respond to your DMs. This is the time to actually be outside. This is the time for people who are like practically African ladies. I mean, I'm an African woman and I believe in being discovered. This is the time to position yourself properly to be seen and noticed. Do you understand? So yeah, why I might share this thing and say, do you understand? I'm actually speaking to myself too, so no judgments. The other relationships, the other form of relationship I'll be talking about is work relationship. If there's one thing that my few years playing in the corporate world has taught me, is that people are your access card to tables. People are your they are the doors leading you to the next room. People are your ladder. You need people to speak for you. You need somebody to mention your name in rooms. I've been in places like, for example, I moved from being an intern to being a full-time staff, and my roommate I moved from being an intern to being a full-time staff, and my salary literally went from to 100% because I had a work mentor who was literally speaking. She didn't tell me clearly that she was speaking for me, but from conversations and my engagement, I knew she was definitely speaking for me. So you need these people. You could go on LinkedIn and connect with these people, connect with people who you would like to build relationships with. Imagine you wanting to get into maybe a Microsoft, and then you have a friend or somebody who knows a top human resource person, and then the person just mentions you casually to that friend, and that's how you land yourself an interview. Once it leads to another, your interview lands you a role in like your dream job. So you need to like build this relationship, and it's not so hard. Check up on people, send them kind words, engage in their posts, let them know that you root for them. Do you understand? The third sort of relationship is the hey guys and acquaintances. These guys, you don't owe them so much and they don't owe you so much, but what you do owe them for your sake and for your tomorrow's sake is good vibes. So when you see them, you need to show them kindness. You need to show that you are glad to see them, be happy to see them, engage in small talks and all of that, because you never can know where you're going to need these people tomorrow. And even that smile that you're sharing with the next person actually comes back to you, because you find out that when you smile at this person, you're actually happy on your own. Now, very importantly is friendship. One of my biggest mantra in life is never ever do life alone. Wherever you find yourself, ensure that there is somebody who would have your back. And this is because your friends literally think for you. There will be days where you do not have sense. I mean, just a few days back, I had a long day and I was on phone with a friend, and I literally said something that, now that I think of it, is really dumb. Like the moment I said it, and she went, "Oh, that's the definition of the play, like just the play." And I just realized that I was actually being foolish. And imagine if I didn't have those friends to actually correct that notion at that point. I literally would have gone ahead to do what I wanted to do, because you didn't have anybody to think through for you. Even the Bible says that one will chase 1,000, two will chase 10,000. Two heads are always better than one. So invest in your friendships. Life is hard. You're adulting, you're building your career, you're juggling business, you're doing all of this. It wouldn't cost you so much to actually send a 30 seconds voice message on WhatsApp. It wouldn't cost you so much to actually just think of your friend and then send a message to them. It wouldn't cost you so much to just say, if you want to talk, I'm here. It wouldn't cost you so much to actually, buy food and send to your friend. You get? So what are your relationships? Because it's never advisable to do life alone. The next thing I think we are ignoring as young adults is our personal fulfillment. See, you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't wake up and want to show up for everybody without filling up yourself first. Now, you need to understand what personal fulfillment means to you. In my case, personal fulfillment might just be taking a run in the morning. In your case, personal fulfillment can actually be anything. Many times my personal fulfillment is as cheap as just one cone of ice cream. So just doing things that actually makes your soul happy, being in touch with yourself and understanding that this makes me happy. Because when you can only pour to others from the overflowing of your own self. So when you feel good, it's easier, and life is a lot easier to show up for other people. The very important thing I think we're ignoring as 20-something years old and as young adults is our health. Think of this. If you have a car right now, in 2 years you can get a new car. You can get a new clothes. I can get another wig like tomorrow. But guess what? This body I've lived in for the past 22 years is the same body I will live in no matter how long I live on earth. So the faster we can realize that we have just one body, the better for us. So it's time to actually take our health seriously. It's time to, I understand that your adulting and life is busy, but it's time to pay attention to the things that you eat. It's time for us to actually, pick up habits that become lifestyle, that in the same vein promotes good health. It's time to actually take being active seriously. If you live in a metropolitan city like I do, rather than taking the elevator every day, maybe you try taking the stairs sometimes. Rather than hopping in a cab, maybe just walk home sometimes. Rather than sometimes replace your soda with water, because it's just one body, and if you miss it, wherever it stops. You don't get to oh my god, this body is dead, let me get another body and continue with life. No, wherever this body ends is where life ends. So you need to honor your body. The Bible says that you are the temple of God. Honor this body that you've been given. God has honored you with a body, so honor him back with it. The last thing I think we are ignoring as 20-somethings and as young adults is our spiritual practice. Whether we agree or not, in fact, I need you to agree with me on this. We are body, spirit, and soul. We talked about our body when we talked about our health. We've talked about our mind when we talk about our trauma and our relationships. Now let's talk about our spirit. To not bore you with so much details, I'll just be sharing personal experience. So in my personal experience, my best spiritual practice is actually praying, and not just praying in the spirit. I figure that when I pray, my mood moves from a minus 200 to a 1000%. Like I literally go from here all the way up there. Now imagine the kind of disservice I'll be doing to myself if I realize and understand that my best spiritual practice and the one thing that keeps my spirit alive and spirit bubbling is the praying, and I refuse to pray. Imagine me saying, oh, I need to catch the bus, I need to go to work, so I don't have time, I can't pray, I can't do this. Imagine how dead I would feel. Imagine how gloomy my life would be if I actually do not engage in my spiritual practice. I think this applies to everyone. So you need to understand as a person what your spiritual practice is. It could be anything. It could be reading the Bible. It could be, listening and worshiping, listening to worship songs and actually worshiping along. It could be maybe gathering a fellowship with other people. Just ensure that you are in tune with your spirit, because life is spiritual. I'm sure you know that already. Let me re-emphasize that life is spiritual, and then the faster you realize that your spirit controls everything, because we're actually a spirit with a mind living in a body. The faster you realize that you're actually your spirit, the better for you. So ensure that you water your spirit, ensure that you fan your flames, ensure that you engage in your spiritual practice, because that's what keeps you alive. That's what keeps us alive. Yes guys, that is that on that. I just shared a few things I think we should stop ignoring as people in their 20s and people who are adulting generally. I hope you found them useful, and be sure to check out the descriptions for the materials mentioned in this video, because you will find each and every one of them useful. Be sure to check out my newsletter, because I do a lot of introspection there. All of the thoughts and all of the lessons that never make it to YouTube happens there every other day. Yes guys, thank you so much for watching. This is Debbie, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.